Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving straight into the phenomenon of Cristiano Ronaldo. But we aren't just looking at the guy on the pitch. We're going to completely deconstruct the meticulously crafted global system that he's become. It's really about understanding how raw athletic output gets packaged up into a massive cultural and commercial empire. Let's kick things off with a number that is just, well, it's staggering. 1 billion. That's the number of social media followers Cristiano Ronaldo commands across all of his platforms. Just sit with that scale for a second. It literally means he reaches more people every single day than most massive international corporations. Frankly, it's a bigger audience than the populations of most sovereign nations. Which kind of begs the question, right? How exactly does someone go from being a young, skinny apprentice from the small Portuguese island of Madeira to commanding a cultural and commercial empire of this sheer magnitude? Like, what is the actual architecture behind this level of success? Okay, Section 1, the output, unmatched statistics. Now, before there's a global brand, there has to be pure, undeniable performance. And what's super fascinating about this famous, ongoing rivalry is how it pits Lionel Messi's incredible efficiency against Ronaldo's sheer volume and longevity. When you look at the data spanning their careers, Messi boasts a really remarkable 905 goals in 1,150 games. He scores every 105 minutes. But then look at Ronaldo's numbers. We're talking a massive 1,318 games played and 970 goals scored, finding the back of the net every 111 minutes. It just perfectly highlights his defining trait, this relentless, almost mechanical volume of output sustained over an incredibly long period. You know, that staggering volume didn't just happen by accident. It was born from an unshakable early ambition. His former manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, noted that when a very young Ronaldo first arrived at Manchester United, the kid walked right in and boldly declared, "I'm going to be the best player in the world." He didn't just see Manchester United as a team to play for, he viewed it as an apprenticeship to build himself into something spectacular. And the Euro 2016 final against France, that brilliantly illustrates his sheer force of will. In the 8th minute, he takes a really heavy tackle. By the 25th minute, he's agonizingly subbed off on a stretcher. Now, for most players, the story ends right there. But Ronaldo, he stayed on the sidelines, practically acting as a second manager. He drove his team forward with sheer presence until Eder scored the winning goal in the 109th minute. It culminated in one of the happiest moments of his career, proving that his impact isn't always just about having the ball at his feet. Moving right along to Section 2, the engine, mind and body. To crank out that kind of output, we really need to pop the hood. And inside, you'll find there are literally no days off in the CR7 machine. This engine is what allows him to compete at an elite level, even at 41 years old. Back in his early days at Carrington, he would actually hide behind a hill to practice his footwork, just so nobody could see him mess up while he perfected his craft. Talk about a perfectionist, right? He also threw boxing into his routine. Not to fight, but to sharpen his fast movement and build up physical confidence. And to this day, his routine relies on relentless self-demand. We're talking core workouts immediately upon waking up and right before bed, mixed with functional movements specifically designed to prevent joint overload. And obviously, you don't run a high-performance engine like that without premium fuel. He strictly eats 6 small meals a day, perfectly spaced every 3 to 4 hours. He avoids ultra-processed foods completely, fueling his body mostly with lean proteins. Think swordfish, sea bass, and a nice nod to his roots, his traditional Portuguese favorite, bacalhau à brás. It's a system custom designed to maintain incredibly stable energy levels all day long. Now, if you thought his diet was strict, wait until you hear about his recovery process. Ronaldo uses a highly calculated polyphasic sleep system developed with sleep specialist Nick Littlehales. So instead of your traditional 8-hour block of sleep at night, he takes 5 distinct 90-minute naps throughout the day. I know, trying to schedule 5 naps a day sounds like a full-time job in itself. But by respecting these natural sleep cycles, cutting out screens at night, and prioritizing constant hydration, this bizarre but highly effective method optimizes his muscle regeneration and actually helps eliminate brain toxins. All right, Section 3, the packaging, brand CR7.
So, you build this perfect physical machine, and you maintain it for over 2 decades. How exactly does that athlete morph into a whole lifestyle? Well, as explored in a fascinating paper from the International Journal for Multidisciplinary Research, Ronaldo has evolved way beyond the pitch. He's turned into a living brand, CR7, encompassing fashion, fitness, and lifestyle. Academics are literally studying his transition from a sports person to this multifaceted global identity.
To wrap their heads around this, academics use a framework called Kafferer's brand identity prism to completely unpack the CR7 identity. It breaks down into 6 overlapping layers. His physique is his athletic body. His personality is that sheer determination. His culture represents universal discipline and ambition. His relationship is the role model dynamic he shares with his fans. The reflection is young people seeking success. And finally, the self-image is about projecting style and resilience. When you stack all these dimensions together, it turns a man into an absolute masterclass in cultural marketing. And this framework explains exactly why his endorsements hit as hard as they do. It's known as McCracken's meaning transfer model. Through this psychological process, those 1 billion followers don't just feel like they're buying his Nike boots, his perfumes, or booking a room in his branded hotels. They are buying into his glamour. They're buying a piece of his legendary work ethic. The elite qualities of the athlete migrate directly onto the products he's promoting. Because of this massive digital dominance, it's a true digital hegemony, a single post from his media empire can literally shape global discourse. This differentiates him completely in a super crowded sports market. He isn't just a sports personality anymore. He's an empire of media that bridges fashion, enterprise, tourism, and online engagement. Now, naturally, this level of commercialization brings out the critics. Some have even gone as far as calling him a businessman in boots. But in the world of cultural marketing, that criticism actually proves his power. A brand that causes controversy or sparks debate is a brand with massive cultural significance. The criticism itself is just a testament to the fact that he absolutely cannot be ignored. Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, the impact destination branding. So what happens when you plug this perfectly packaged athletic engine into the macro economy? You get a phenomenon known as destination branding. This is when an individual's personal brand is so immensely strong that it directly elevates the global image, visibility, and economic identity of entire clubs and even nations. His raw ambition literally shifts global markets. We can actually track this economic impact historically right across his career. Step 1. Real Madrid leveraged his global fame to completely enhance the worldwide image of the Spanish league, La Liga. Step 2. When he moved to Juventus, they saw an immediate massive surge in Serie A shirt sales, social media followers, and sponsorships. And Step 3. Most recently, Al Nassr utilized his brand as the cornerstone for Saudi Arabia's global branding and sports strategy. His mere presence alters the economic reality of wherever he plays. But here's the craziest part of the whole shebang. He is still delivering the raw output to back up the brand. At 41 years old, playing in the Saudi Pro League, he scored an incredible 32 goals in 37 games for Al Nassr in the current season. The engine is still firing, keeping the whole machine moving forward. Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. When you consider his unmatched discipline, his billion-follower reach, and the 2026 World Cup on the horizon, what exactly does the next phase of the CR7 empire look like when the athletic engine finally, inevitably, stops running? Will the brand outlive the player? Thank you so much for joining me as we deconstructed the CR7 machine. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.